Did everybody practice today? Besides, I guess probably Willie.
Yeah, everybody did their work today.
Yeah, no. The reason I was asking is just because it feels like the COVID resurgence is like even more so than normal. So I'm curious, how does it feel to kind of be in that right now, knowing that you played a team last night that's going through it, you got a team coming up, I guess in 2 weeks to Sacramento that's going through it. Like what is that like mentally to kind of like work through and figure out?
Yeah, I think well, it's nothing. This isn't new, right? This has been around, so we're just taking one day at a time. That's all you can do because tomorrow could be different, or you could have positive tests, and so you just have to take it one day at a time.
Do you feel like has the team done anything, I guess, proactively or not to not have a case yet, knowing that last year they led the league in man games for COVID games missed?
Yeah, I think again, just the responsibility of trying to do the right thing, and then also, I think the honesty of if you don't feel well is reporting that so that you can be tested, and then find out if you're positive or negative, and then do the precautions of what you have to do is probably go home and then isolate if you are positive. But that's it's just a communication thing, and so that's COVID again has been here. Um, Dallas went through it and had a tough stretch last year with it. There's some teams in the league that are struggling with it, but I think it's going to touch everyone at some point.
Jason, you got this unusual situation with 3 off days between games. What do you do with all this free time?
Yeah, I think we had some shooting in today, some weights, and then we'll have tomorrow off, and then we'll come back and practice Saturday and then head to Minnesota.
How much of an advantage is that to have this free time, particularly with Luka Hurd at this particular time?
It's interesting that you almost have the old school All-Star break here, but we have been going here for a while without a break, so to have some time to regroup, to get organized, to heal up, and then get ready for the push before All-Star break.
Coach, you made that transition from player to coach pretty quick, just like Dudley has. What was the hardest part for you in that transition?
Well, I think the hardest part is when you're the head coach, you're responsible for everything, and so being an assistant coach, you have your pods and you have your responsibilities, and I think it's just a little different, but it's still a big change because the hours are definitely longer, and so you're giving answers to the tests, and you just hope that they can translate what you're saying, out there on the floor.
What were the biggest positives that you took away from last night's game? A hard fight game that went into overtime.
Yeah, we were down in the first quarter, and we fought, took the lead. I thought we fought the whole night. There was a lot of positives. Details, we have to get better at, but it comes down to we have the ball for 0.5 of a second in our hands, where we have Maxey and KP with the rebound. AD knocks it out, and it rolls to Wayne, and Wayne is in the corner, and he makes the three to send it in overtime. But again, the guys fought, the ball moved. Our defense again was at a high rate against a very powerful offensive team, and we were in a position to win that game. Unfortunately, we didn't.
How do you take advantage of a game like that and working on the finer details to ensure that in late game situations you're able to correct those going forward?
Yeah, we can learn from our wins and not just our losses, and so that one we had the opportunity. We'll learn from it, and we'll move forward. And this is without Lucas, so as we get back, hopefully healthy, it will just make us that much better.
How would you describe like your demeanor and how you interacted with players after the game? Like what approach did you take?
It was positive. This is we learned from it. The guys felt like they put themselves in a position to win. It was so close. The ball, if it doesn't roll to Wayne in the corner, we probably win that game. Or if we hold on to the rebound, it becomes a free throw game. Not saying that automatically we win it, but that puts us in a better seat. And so the guys did everything to execute the game plan. We had great looks, and we just made mistakes at the wrong time.
Is that the same kind of approach or the same kind of demeanor you would have had in Brooklyn and Milwaukee as compared to here, or have you kind of changed how you handle that kind of heartbreak as a
Yeah,
head
we would have
coach?
practiced really hard today. it happens, and you can only learn from it in a positive way. Brooklyn, I had a different team. They were mostly Hall of Famers on that team, so you can talk to them, and they would tell you, look, the small things of rebounding the ball, boxing out, or just some of the things that we have to do better. We should have won that game, and they turned the page and they moved forward. The Milwaukee team is they were all young. They were all young 20s, and you have to take a different approach where you might have a practice the next day and focus on one area. Maybe it's rebounding drills or something else. That's just every team's different. And so today was just come in and shoot, get your lift, and then enjoy your day off tomorrow and get ready to go Saturday.
It wasn't just all the wild 3-point shots, but you held them to 14 points in the second quarter, but then they scored 14 in overtime.
Yeah, it's just they scored 30 something in the first, so they got 3 future Hall of Famers over there. We did everything to put ourselves in position, no matter if they scored 33 in the first quarter or 14 in overtime. We had our opportunities, and that's all you can ask for against a team that's playing really well. They're trending in the right direction, and we had them on the ropes. We couldn't close the door.
I can ask one more question about Dudley. What's been the best part about having Jared on your coaching staff?
Yeah, it does just finish playing, and probably could still play. And so I think to be able to relate to the guys, just finishing playing in LA, winning a championship, playing with the best players in the world, just his street cred, being able to talk to our players and tell them what's coming, giving them the answers, what it means to work. I think it's a big thing and a cool thing to have a coach like that just finished playing.
All right, we've got one on Zoom real quick, and then we'll let you go. Ian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Just want to ask you a quick question about your team. How would you describe the mental makeup of this team?
Tough. I think we got a great group of good young guys that fight. We've kind of been through a lot already early in the season. And so I think when you look at the injuries, next man up mentality, being patient to play, I think this group is tough-minded and always find a way to bounce back.
How would you describe Jason's demeanor last night after the game and how he handled kind of that heartbreak and getting you guys together in the locker room afterwards?
I mean, it was a tough loss, but he's always positive, staying positive, trying to push us. It was a hard-fought game. I think everybody on the court gave it all, so we just got to continue to get better and get the next win.
Is that the same or different from how he's been after games? Like, what have you noticed about the way he handles setbacks this year?
When he feels like we're not playing our hardest and we're not playing well because of that, then he gets on our ass. But games like yesterday when we played well, right intentions, everybody fought and tried to win. He's very positive, trying to push us because he knows that everybody wants to win and does the right thing. So, it's basketball. He's played the game for a long time himself, so he's trying to push us, stay positive, and come back like today and practice and get better.
You have any good stories about how he's gotten on your ass or on everybody?
I'll collect them for after the season.
Deal.
Max, what's more frustrating? You held them to 14 points in the fourth quarter last night and didn't get the win, and then they scored 14 points in the overtime period.
I guess the loss overall is frustrating. Doesn't really matter how it went down. We had the game in our hands, and losing itself sucks, especially at home when you have the chance to win it. So there's no pick and choose, I guess.
Let's talk about the team defense overall. This season, has it been improving?
I think it's been better. We have clear paths on what we have to do on defense, how we rotate, and all that stuff. And I think it helps many people because we often do the same schemes no matter what, and everybody's ready, and we repeat it every day. So in my opinion, we're doing a better job, and also there's more will with everybody, wanting to stop their opponent. So overall, I think we improved.
You ever been involved in a game like that with so many crazy 3-point shots down the stretch?
I don't think so. Yeah, they said it was one of the craziest back and forth with tying and making threes or going up with threes. So I have not been involved in one like that.
You hit a big shot like that before?
I did, yeah. I didn't call bank, but I mean, I take any make. So
That's
Maxie,
pretty sweet.
what have you gained from having Coach Dudley as a coach?
I mean, he's a long time player in the league, a lot of experience. I'll do video with him all the time before games, and he's a smart player. I'd say obviously like he wasn't like a superstar, like that type of caliber player, but that's why he was so good, because he was smart. His basketball IQ is really high. So watching film with him, he helps me reading situations better, adjusting to the next game, and seeing other things better. So it's really been helpful.
Knowing the experience you and the team had with the COVID outbreak almost a year ago, what does it feel like now to see kind of the league and other sports leagues and really the world kind of having this like post-Thanksgiving surge, and knowing that that's something you guys got to keep looking out for?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been going on a little bit crazy in Europe already for quite some time. My family's in Germany, so they started to have different rules again, shut down things a little bit. So it was just a matter of time, I guess. But right now the NBA's hit pretty hard, so I guess we will see how it continues and if we can stay healthy.
They're healthy.
Sorry?
I hope your family's healthy.
Yeah, they're all healthy.
Good.
Thank you.
Having worked with Jason now for a few months, what would you say would be the biggest differences in terms of communication style versus the last regime that was here, as far as how you guys go about daily routines, communication, and those kinds of things?
I think right now we, because everything is new and everybody, like coaching staff, new players and everything, like everybody has a chance to start over. So, we're very open with everything, how things are communicated. Everything is fresh, so you have to talk. So, it gives you like a different starting point on how to communicate. And we've been very open-minded with like our thoughts. He wants our input as players because he thinks everybody, understands basketball, is a smart player. So he wants to hear all the options, and that goes like back and forth. Like he wants to hear our opinion, we hear his opinion, and we just like try to communicate as a team and figure things out.
Is that a departure from what happened previously before he came here?
What do you mean?
Was that different with him versus the way that things were done previously?
Well, yeah, like I said, obviously it is different because, like I said, when everything is new, you have to talk to figure out things. If you come into a system that's already like been set up a little bit, things might be run different. But the way it is now is we really talk open mind. We address problems openly, like in front of everybody. If there's like issues with like how we play or what individuals do, this and that. So it's a very open locker room when it comes to like talking.
We good?